Welcome back to the Barefoot Garage, and we're finally putting the engine in the Baja Beetle. Alright guys, we are back working on the 73 Baja Beetle. If you watched our Naughty Truck video and you paid real close attention, this ran in the 2020 Gambler with us and a couple of other vehicles, and it belongs to my buddy of mine who's had it for 38 years. So he's had this car since he was 17, done a lot of work to it. It's a really cool off-road Beetle, and we are going to put that nicely freshened up engine back in the back. So we'll go take a look at the engine and the trans that's been freshened up, and then we'll start putting it in. All right, 914 is taking a break. We have our freshly top-ended Burg big bore kit type 1 engine. So fresh ceramic coat exhaust, new filters on the carburetor, some new hoses, cleaned up and repainted to 10, and new 90.5 cylinders with a stroker crank in there. So kind of an old school big bore deal. We built this motor a while ago. You can check out that video right here. And we're gonna slam this thing back in. All right, here's our other freshened up component. This is your Type 1 transmission with a little bit of extra beef. So we have a deeper 437 ring and pinion ratio. It's got a super diff with 4 spider gears, upgraded side cover, just freshened up all over the case. And it's got some coarse cut gears, not quite a straight cut, but a little bit nicer setup. So it's got a stock first and a little bit lower rest of the gears. And we're gonna put the trans in first, get that thing hooked up to the shifter, hooked up to the mount, and then we'll take a look at the engine. You can see here that this has a custom adapter mount here. This was the first year that the cars changed to this style mount from a mount like this and an older trans. You can put an adapter on it to do something like that, but cool little Beetle tech tip. So since I've been doing so much 914 stuff, it's going to be a little bit backwards for me to put the transmission in this way, but we'll pop the transmission in first, and then we'll take a look at dropping that engine in. All right, so here's the business end of the Beetle. Before the Gambler, upgraded the fan, upgraded some of the ducting to a cool little window vent, and trying to keep some of the overheating problems down. From what the engine builder and what the trans guy said, really just needed more RPM, which is counterintuitive because it moves more air. So freshened up firewall here, and we'll dive down in here and take a look at where the trans is going to go. So the trans is going to notch into these 2 bolts right there, and then it's going to sit on these here in the back. So these have been modified. Normally they're rubber. These are solid mounts, and we have an additional strap that's going to go over the top of the trans. So what we're going to do is get 1 person inside the car, 2 of us lifting the trans in here, and we're going to get that shifter aligned. We're going to get the clutch cable through its housing, and we'll get our CVs in place and get that thing bolted down. Right, trans is in, and now we're in the process of hooking kind of everything up. So that bracket on the front of the trans we actually had in there backwards, so we had to flip that around. So ground strap over the top, we got our clutch hooked up, new pivot and throwout bearing, and we're going to do the CVs next with a little bit of grease, starter, and then it'll be time for the engine. All right guys, that's where we're gonna leave off for tonight. The trans is in, the shifter is hooked up, the CV axles are hooked up, the starter is in, and so tomorrow we're doing clutch, pressure plate, torque that down on the flywheel, lift the engine in and start getting hooked up, and hopefully go for a drive. All right, good morning. Day 2 on the Baja Beetle. We're getting the engine in today, so that means clutch, pressure plate, torque that down, lift the engine in place, and then we'll start getting everything hooked up, and hopefully it will go for a ride. All right, the engine is in place. The only thing we had to take off was this oil cooler just to move this side. This exhaust is new, so it was not on the car when the engine came out. We really weren't sure if it was going to clear. It's pretty tight here. It's real tight on that side. So we're going to go and get the last couple of things hooked up, and then we'll try and get it to start. All right, engine is in, coil is out. We're going to build a little bit of oil pressure and just make sure it turns over well. The battery is a little low, but we got it on the charger, and then we'll hook up the coil and see if we can get it to start. All right, let's go.
What happened to you trying to block the plate?
I gave up on that.
You do have the coil hooked up already, right?
No, it's unhooked.
Oh, well, you can hook it up because I don't have to see it on the initial. We ready?
We're ready.
There was a little bit of smoke coming out of the exhaust.
Was there?
Yeah.
How much fuel's in it? Some.
The gas tank's pretty full.
All right, well, I'm gonna give the squirters a couple of squirties and see if we're getting anything. Oh yeah, we got squirties.
We do?
Yeah, there's fuel in it. Squirters are squirting.
I'm surprised it pulled through that quickly.
It pulled through pretty good. All right, the engine is back in. We're not placing the oil filter adapter yet, so we're gonna get that temporarily hooked up. I'm gonna leave the air cleaners off and go for a quick little ride, and we'll see how it does.